Hi, good evening. Salam alaikum, everyone. Welcome you all for this IOSH Qatar branch meeting of 2024. My name is Venkat. Those who don't know me, my name is Venkat. I am the branch chair. I take this opportunity to welcome each one of you for this meeting. Since this is the first meeting of our 2024, I take this opportunity to wish you all a happy, healthy, safe, and prosperous New Year to all of you. We all professionals, you work in different, we all work in different organizations, different industries. But as a health and safety professionals, we all have one single goal. That is to make sure that wherever we are working, our organization, we are implementing the proactive health and safety management system. And a common goal is to make sure that those who are working in our organization work safe and they go back safe to their family members. And also having our common commitment is to promote health and safety at the workplace and the community. And this will not happen in an individual level. We all have to come together to propagate the message of health and safety in our community and in our organizations. IOSH is one such organization that we share knowledge, we share best practice, we share the lesson learned from the different aspects so that our community, our professionals learn from each other so that they go back and implement the proactive things into their workplace to make sure that our common objective of health and safety is achieved. And once again, I welcome all of you for this branch meeting. There are few ground rules, and all the participants might will be in muted conditions, and you can keep your video on. It's up to you, and make sure that you are in a comfortable mode. And you can uh, set the Zoom settings in the speaker's view so that you can have a better experience of this meeting. And if you have any questions, and you can type it in the chat box so that our Q&A moderator will collate all the questions and he will be handling all the Q&A during the end of the presentation. And we are recording this session, and we all health and safety professionals, some of you attending from home, some of you attending from office. Make sure that you are aware about the surroundings. If at all any emergency, make sure that you follow your emergency protocol at your respective place. You can leave the people. Well, this is agenda. Maybe the timing is little changed, and after this opening session, we have a speaker. We will be speaking about the firefighting system and fire suppression system, and after that, we'll be having the Q&A session. Well, to take the session forward, we have a gentleman. We have a speaker today, Mr. Balasubramanian. He is having over 29 years of industrial experience with the multinational organizations. He is a mechanical engineering graduate, and is also holding a post-graduation diploma in fire protection system. And he is a certified fire protection specialist from the NFPA, and he is also certified facility management from the International Facility Management Association, and he is also a project management professional from Project Management Institute. And in his last 29 years experience, he implemented various firefighting systems, starting from the design, engineering, installation, commissioning of various size and capacity. And it is really honor to welcome Mr. Bala Subramani on the screen. Mr. Bala, you're most welcome. With all your virtual round of applause, I invite Mr. Bala on the screen to start giving his presentation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Venkat, for the nice introduction. Now I can take the session, right?
Yeah, you can start sharing the screen. Yeah.
Just a few seconds. Okay, I'm just checking it out before I take it up. Good evening, everyone. I really appreciate all your time for this particular presentation. And thank you very much for the nice introduction, Mr. Venkat. I would like to convey my sincere thanks to IOSH, Qatar branch, for giving me an opportunity to talk about basic firefighting system. Being a safety organization, it would be appropriate to discuss about firefighting system. Today, we will be covering firefighting system in basic manner so that everyone will understand its importance and how it is being operated. Today agenda, the following are the topics we will be discussing briefly. What is the definition of firefighting system and what is the importance of fire safety in daily life? What are the objectives of firefighting system? Who is the governing body in Qatar? And what is the QCDD approval process? What are all the standards being commonly in use for firefighting system? What are the types of firefighting system commonly in use? Before we get into the details of firefighting system, we must understand what is fire and how it is being created. As per fire tetrahedron concept, there are 4 essential elements required to initiate the fire and continuous burning of fire. What are those 4 elements? Heat, fuel, oxygen, and chemical chain reaction. Suppose if any one of these things are missing, whether heat or fuel or oxygen, the ignition will not take place, the fire will not take place, and you cannot get the continuous burning. So the picture says, unless you have these 3, basically heat, fuel, oxygen, the chain reaction will take place, the initiation of fire and continuous burning of fire will happen. What are the classes of fire? Everyone will be aware about the classes of fire. However, without discussing the classes of fire, it will be inappropriate to discuss about the firefighting system. Hence, we will be quickly go through the various classes of fire. Class A, Class B, Class D, Class D, electrical fire, and Class F. Solid stands for Class A, liquid for Class B, gases for Class C, and metal for Class D, and cooking fat oil for Class F. For firefighting system, what is definition of firefighting system? Firefighting system is a collection of equipment, device, and the procedure which will help to detect, control, and extinguish the fire in a specific area or the entire facility. Okay, what is the need of firefighting system? Why do I need to go for firefighting system? If firefighting systems are put in a place, basically to protect the lives, property, and environment from the fire, directly or from the effect of fire. What are the components used in firefighting system? It includes fire alarms, sprinkler system, fire extinguisher, fire hoses, smoke detectors, and specialized equipment. Regarding this, we will be seeing in the later part of our presentation. What about the location and maintenance? Where exactly it will be located? It will be located strategically placed. For example, fire alarm panel, the motherboard, it will be placed located in the reception area or common area where qualified personnel are available. If any incident happens, if incident occurs, the qualified person will go on handle, we will check and put the system. If it is a real fire or the fault related false alarm, they will put off the system, and then they will go for and check, and finally they get back with the actual reasons. But for the fire pump, it will be located away from hazardous area. Hence, based on the purpose, the location will be varying. What about the maintenance? Regarding the maintenance of firefighting system, like any other system, maintenance has to be done on regular intervals to keep the system healthy. What is the importance of fire safety? First one is to protect the lives. The preservation of human life is very much important and critical as far as protection of lives are concerned. How I can ensure as a safety person is having a proper safety measures in place, you can have the difference between life and death. You can understand the difference between life and death. It is so important that you have to have a proper safety measures to protection of lives. Not only protection of lives, but also prevention of injuries. If you have proper safety measures, the risk level will be reduced. Even if there is a fire, if your system is in place, it will suppress, it will early detection can happen, it will suppress the fire so that the injuries will be prevented. Not only the human life, the injuries, prevention of injuries, property protection plays a vital role. Fire can, generally NFPA says the fire doesn't occur. If it occurs once in 25 years in the exorbitant way. So when it happens, the extensive damage to the building, infrastructures, and personal belongings. So if you have firefighting system in place, it will detect and control the fires in the early stage. Thereby, you can save the property. And most important in present scenario, especially in a commercial or in kind of stadiums or in a mall, if the fire incident occurs, it will lead to significant financial losses, and you will be losing the business as well. There will be a disruption with respect to the operations. If you maintain the proper safety standards, safety measurements, you can ensure the continuity of business by preventing or minimizing the fire related damages. So these are all the importance of fire safety systems. Now, let us look at on the primary objective of firefighting system. Extinguishment of fire. The fire suppression, there are numerous fire suppression methods such as sprinkler, fire extinguisher, and other specialized equipment to extinguish or control the fire. Again, those regarding those systems we'll be going through in the latter part of our slide. And most importantly, escape route, protection of escape route. If any fire incident happens, the human has to be evacuated. So there is a clear markup, clear things given. With that, the people will be evacuated from that particular position in a timely manner without any hassles. Then protection of critical assets. If we have the objective is to safeguard the equipment, the documents, the valuable assets. There are areas where you need to protect the document as far the standard is concerned, say maybe 5 years or 10 years. Nowadays, the olden days, we have hard copies. Nowadays, people are maintaining the soft copy. Even to keep the soft copy in a place, you have to have this particular system which will protect the critical assets in case of any fire and prevent reignition. In some cases, what happens when you put out the fire, there may be many cases by manually, if there is a smoke which will reinitiate the fire. So when you have this particular system in place, which will put off the fire, for example, fire suppression system or firefighting system, initial stage itself, it will be extinguished. Who is the governing body in Qatar for firefighting system? Yes, we all know it is QCDD. QCDD stands for Qatar Civil Defense Department. It is a government agency. They formulate the policies and implement the policies and the regulations, as well standards related to fire safety and emergency response. Any construction you are going for, you have to really get an approval. They are the people who define QCDD with the help of QCS and NFPA standards. You have to obtain the relevant approvals before you go for actual activity. What are those approval process? Some of you guys might be aware there is DC1, design control 1. It says life safety drawing, first escape route. You have to get an approval and Karama approvals with respect to load details. What all the equipments are going to place, every details, different kind of equipments, electrical, mechanical, all those details, you have to get an approval. And subsequent approval, you also have to submit DC2, which talks about life safety drawing, fire protection system, fire detection system, AC, mechanical ventilation, EPSs, emergency power supply system. So these two approvals you have to obtain. Upon approval, you have to start the construction work, starting from excavation, making the building, placing all the equipment, where you have to perform the testing and commissioning of all the equipments, not only related to firefighting. What has been given, approval has been taken, all those things you have to make it. Upon completion of that, you have to submit along with your as-built drawing with the relevant documents. You have to upload those documents in the portal. The moment you upload in the portal, it will be reviewed, verified by the QCD personnel, and they will give you the date. They will come for an inspection and then do the inspection at site level. When their people are, on site, the approved QCD engineer should be there. Along with certificate, it will be verified. If any comments are there, then it will be, they will go and upload again same thing in the system. Then you will have to clear all the comments, come for inspection. After completion the comment clearance, they will issue a certificate. It is basically based on the type of building. They will give a certification for 1 year or 2 years. This is for the normal process. But if you want go for any renewal process, the process is same. You have to upload the document along with the documents what we have with the certification, or you have to follow through the same process: QCD inspection, comment clearance, and issuance of certificate. This is the general process which is being followed for getting QCD approval for any of the buildings with respect to all the relevant equipments. There are numerous standards as far as NFPA and firefighting system is concerned. Not only firefighting, fire loss prevention, fire prevention, etc. We will be covering very few standards. On the topic part, like NFPA 1, it talks about comprehensive regulation of fire prevention, fire protection, life safety, and property protection. Fire extinguisher talks about, NFPA 10 talks about fire extinguisher. For sprinkler system, NFPA 13, NFPA 14 for standpipe and hose system. It addresses the installation, maintenance, and testing of complete standpipe and hose system. For the pumps, controller, and accessories, we will be covering in the later part of our slide all this checklist, what all the parameters, how you have to place, what all things to be ensured, and how often the pump has to be tested. All those details will be given in NFPA 20. Water-based fire protection, NFPA 25, and we all know wherever we go, we will be seeing fire alarm system and the signaling code. That particular standards, NFPA 72, one of the critical standard as far as NFPA is concerned. This has to be necessarily ensured. And most importantly, as a safety professionals, NFPA 101, it talks about safety measures of various building, including means of egress, fire protection, building features for safety, etc. Coming to types of firefighting system, there are two main types of firefighting system. One is active fire protection. The second one is passive fire protection. Each serve with specific purpose, in detecting, containing, and suppressing the fires. We will be seeing overview. In case of active fire protection system, you have sprinkler, fire extinguisher, fire hose reel, fire hydrant, deluge, fire suppression, and there is a special system called SERGI, which is transformer protection system. We will be seeing all this in a general view. Sprinkler system. What is sprinkler system? It consists of network of pipes and the sprinklers. Basically, the sprinklers are designed to release the water when the predetermined temperature is reached. There are different types of sprinklers commonly in use. You can easily identify the sprinkler by its bulb color. What it bulb says, it will determine the temperature of the particular sprinkler. How it operates. Each sprinkler head operates independently. What happens when there is a fire, actually, it will be detected, and with respect to the temperature, for example, if it is orange bulb or yellow bulb or even green bulb, when the temperature reaches, in case of green bulb, take an example, in case of green bulb, when the temperature reaches 93 degrees centigrade, there is a liquid given inside the bulb will burst, because when the temperature increases, the liquid given in the pressure also increases. Temperature and pressure is proportional. When it reaches the temperature, because of the high temperature, the pressure increases, the bulb breaks. The moment bulb breaks, it allows the water to spray on the entire surface. Thereby, it will put off the fire. The benefit is it provides the automatic and rapid fire suppression, reducing the spread of fire. When it comes to the kind of bulb, what is talked about is orange is 57 degree, red is 68, yellow is 79 degree, green is 93. In general, green will be used for all the deluge system, especially for the transformer protection. And blue, purple, and black, there are bulbs which can take up to 227. In case of some furnace related activity, this black kind of sprinklers will be used, because a furnace will always have higher temperature. Now I'll show you the video how the sprinkler works. In the sprinkler system, when you have seen the video, it talks about two things. When there is no firefighting system, if the fire happens, if the fire occurs, it not only the take away the particular area, it also spreads to the entire building. Thereby, you will be losing the infrastructure. There is a possibilities of even human life, take away the human life or injury of human life, and complete destroying of the area. So when we provide the firefighting system, what happens in this case? It senses, it gives a signal to the fire alarm. Once the fire alarm, the signal is received, it will also give the signal to the relevant deluge. It operates. When it operates, the bulb breaks, and when it operates, it allows the water to spray on the entire area. The advantage is it will put out the fire. For better understanding purpose, in this video for the sprinklers, they have shown on the entire area. In actual condition, it will be on where actually fire is identified. When the bulb breaks on that particular location, the water will be sprayed on that particular location, not on the entire area. So this is how the sprinkler system works. Fire extinguisher, what we have seen in the initial slide also, there are, you use water, CO2, trichemical foam, etc. It can be manually operated to extinguish the small fires. It has different classes, what we have seen, class A, class B, class C, class D, or K. Now, I'll be showing some video with respect to pass, the term called many of you guys might be aware.
To operate a fire extinguisher, use the 4-step pass technique. Pull the pin at the top of the extinguisher. Aim the nozzle of the extinguisher at the base of the fire. Squeeze the handle to discharge the extinguishing agent. Finally, sweep the nozzle back and forth at the base of the fire from side to side. Always remember, having a fire extinguisher and knowing how to use it is essential for every establishment.
Fire hose reel. You might have seen the fire hose reel. It is basically used to supply the water. It will be located in the designated area, where many places you might have seen red color box, or silver color box, stainless steel, or wooden also. where it will be placed where the potential, the possibility is high to catch a fire. And this will be connected, to the QCDD area when the equipment comes, or there are cases it also be connected with the pump. It will be operated by the trained personnel. You have to manually aim and discharge the water on the fire area. So everybody cannot do this particular activity. The trained people only, or the trained people only supposed to do this particular activity.
How to use a fire hose reel. This is a fire hose reel, sometimes found in cupboards or metal cabinets that are identified by the words fire hose reel. The hose is 36 meters in length and is rolled onto a hose reel drum for quick and easy operation. The nozzle of the hose reel is housed in a special bracket designed to ensure that it is stored with a control valve in the off position. For operator safety, hose reels should not be used to extinguish fires involving equipment connected to an electric power supply. Water is a good conductor of electricity. Hose reels should not be used on fires that involve flammable liquids. Burning liquids will float on the surface of the water, and this may contribute to the spread of the fire. To operate a fire hose reel, turn water on to the hose reel by operating the control valve. Remove the nozzle from its bracket. Proceed to a safe distance from the fire. Turn the water on by operating the nozzle. Direct the water at the base of the flames. Extinguish the fire by using a sweeping action. Always make sure you have a clear line of retreat and you have alerted people nearby. When you have finished with the fire hose reel, return the hose and nozzle to its original stowed position.
You might have seen this fire hydrant mostly in the outside area. Generally, it will be placed one to another is around 60 meters. Water will be supplied to these fire hydrants from the pump room. Fire personnel will connect the hoses to the fire hydrant to extinguish the fire. So again, it has to be operated by the trained or fire personnel only. The next system is deluge system. Deluge system, it's basically used to extinguish the fire by pouring large volume of water, especially in the transformer area, where the amount of water is required more, and when there is a fire happens, you cannot take any chance at the particular place. You have to pour the water on the entire surface. Overall volume of the transformer shall be ensured, by applying the water on the entire surfaces. It will suppress the fire. Basically, deluge system is used to put off the fire externally, nothing related to internal of transformer. It is to put off the external fire. The water will be flooded on to the complete area, which will put off the fire. How? We'll be seeing in the later part of slide. Before that, I would like to show on video how the deluge system is getting operated. In this particular case, it will be operated manually. There is two different line. One is wet line and the other one is dry line. Wet line is maintained with the particular pressure with the sprinklers. When you are giving the heat, in this case, when they are giving a heat, they are breaking, then there will be three different pumps: jockey pump, electric pump, and diesel pump, which will try to maintain pressure. Jockey will try to maintain pressure. If it doesn't happen, then it allows the electrical pump to run and pour the water on the entire surface. If any electrical related concern, the diesel pump will come into picture. It pours the water on the entire surface. Now you can have a look on this particular video.
Wow.
In this case, what you have actually witnessed is, if fire happens at a particular place, the water is poured on the entire area, which means entire transformer. It will not know that the fire is at a particular place. Why? Because you don't know how fast the fire can spread. To avoid that, to put off the fire, being electrical equipment, to take care of any other critical hazards, they pour, this will be designed such a way that the water will be poured on the entire surface. Now we will be moving to fire suppression system. It is a system used to protect the critical equipments. For example, data center electrical panels. Why this specialized agent has been developed is, initially it all with carbon dioxide and then clean agents, which is being used in FM 200 NOx system, which is used to suppress the fire zone or fire prone area. What all the agent is being used in this case is HFC 227 EA, which is ephthofluoropropane. The moment the gas is getting discharged, it will eat away the heat from this position. The greatest advantage is particular ephthofluoropropane, which is HFC 227 EA gas, has 9% oxygen content is there. Suppose if the fire happens, you are working in a substation, for example, LVC room or telecommunication room or control room, where the rooms are protected with the FM 200 system. When you want to come out, you don't know whether it's actual fire or a real fire. The gas is getting discharged, for example, for a moment, you have to come out. You should not search for oxygen. You should not, get into the different mode. So hence, to take a particular time, the oxygen content is there, people can be evacuated without any hassles. So that is the greatest advantage of this particular system. And the other greatest advantage of this particular system is, once the fire is put out, within 30-40 minutes, you can go and work. You will not have any evidence of fire except the fire which has happened at that particular area. Then the one more importance is that you can save the data. If you are pouring the water on the equipment, you will not be able to use it. But in this case, with this particular gas, you can put out the fire, you can retrieve the data, you can use it again. No damages will happen to the data. That is why these items this particular system are being used in data centers on all the electrical panels, where you have to keep the record for longer period of time. So it is so critical, it will be a bit costlier. So I'll be going through the FM 200 fire suppression system video. this FM200 system, the video what you have seen, it operates in two different conditions. One is, the first operation is, it should agree for the cross zoning, zone 1 and zone 2. When both things happens, then only the signal will be given to the panel, and then from there subsequently your you'll get initially you'll get the bell, and second is pre-discharge alarm. Once you get the pre-discharge alarm, if there is a false alarm, you can go and press the abort switch. Means if you don't press it within 60 seconds, it will wait for 60 seconds. The moment it reaches completing the 60 seconds, then we'll give a signal. The solenoid will come into picture. It allows the agent to get released. When the agent gets released within 10 seconds, whatever the room size, whatever the condition may be, based on the size or condition, any type of cylinder size, it requires only minimum 10 seconds to discharge the gas. This is for the option 1. Only thing is you have to ensure the cross zoning of detector, zone 1 and zone 2. The second option is, if you are notifying the actual fire, there is a separate manual call point. You have to just pull, it will activate the solenoid, then it discharges the gas immediately. It will not wait for the 60 seconds and all. Within 10 seconds, the complete the gas will be discharged on the area. And when this system happens, before it go for any actuation, any actual condition, it will close down all the AC. Wherever you are having a dampers, that will be closed, which means it doesn't allow the fire to move to the next room. SERGI, transformer protection system, it is basically used to protect the transformer. In general, if you have any problem with respect to the transformer, you have to protect the transformer. You have buckles, you have pressure relief valve, HVREF, which is high voltage restricted earth fault, and low voltage restricted earth fault, to protect the transformer. But in case of short circuit, which is dielectric insulation rupture happens, it creates an arc. Because the transformer is, you have primary winding and secondary winding, the tank will be filled with oil. Tank, whether you consider tank or OLTC, unload tap changer, or the cable box. What happens is, when the arc happens, it travels very fast. In the sense, less than 10 milliseconds. It travels very fast. It develops the dynamic pressure. The electric arc can occur, and it also turn into dynamic pressure, and subsequently it go and touches the wall of the particular item. If it is a tank, transformer tank, it touches the wall, and then static pressure increases. When the moment that static pressure increases, if there is no SERGI system, it will lead to explosion. There are areas where the actual explosions have happened without this particular SERGI system. Though you have a regular system, regular other items like HVREF, LEREF, pressure relief buckles, to put the system into trip mode, but it will never happen if it is subjected to electric insulation rupture and electric arc, which develops the dynamic pressure, subsequently end up in high static pressure. When you have this particular SERGI system, how it works, before we get into actual working condition, what all the components are there? Vertical depressurization set, it has got cable box protection, OLTC protection, it has oil gas separation tank, control box, gases for evacuation pipe, isolation shutter, and inert gas injection pipe. What exactly happens is, when there is no SERGI, when there is no depressurization chamber, what happens is that the dielectric insulation ruptures occurs, which means short circuit happens. The electrical arc is being created. When the arc comes, it will have a contact with oil. The moment it gets contact with the oil, it starts to burn. When it's burned, the pressure increases. With respect to the temperature, the pressure increases. The dynamic pressure travels very fast. Suppose in this particular, it's shown here, when it reaches within few milliseconds, it reaches. So the dynamic pressure is also converted into static pressure. When there is a high static pressure, if you don't have the SERGI system, what happens? Because of fast propagation, static pressure increases. and it tends to explode the tank, complete transformer. So in general principle, if you look at whatever the thickness is being maintained, if you don't have the surge, it should be at least 8 times. Suppose you have wall, a width of say wall thickness of 10 mm. If you don't have a surge system, you have to keep at least 8 mm, which means it requires 8 times. Same way, if you have the surge system, how it works, everything will happen starting from dielectric insulation, electrical arc, oil evaporation, dynamic pressure increases, static pressures, the dynamic pressure is propagates and then it leads to static pressure. But when you have a depressurization chamber, what is depressurization chamber? There will be a disc given in that. It will be fixed with particular pressure, particular bar, it will breaks. The moment the pressure increases, will go in general condition, it will go and touches with the ruptured disc, depressurization ruptured disc. When the pressure reaches a particular bar, the ruptured disc breaks, allows the water to get into oil gas suppression tank, because when the temperature increases, when the arc happens, the temperature also increases, there will be a gases. The gases also will be put into the oil gas suppression tank. From there, it will be evacuated to the atmosphere, which thereby you can prevent the explosion. Now here you can see how it works. Electrical arc, pressurized gas bubble, dynamic pressure is increasing, and here the TP is activated. Quick oil evacuation, the fast depressurization of the tank. So it goes and it gets into oil gas suppression tank. All the gases will be, burn gases will be taken outside. So now this, when this happens, what you have to do is you have to inject the nitrogen. You have to inject the gas where it will be injected for 45 minutes. The moment it injects, it will evacuate all the unburned gases in this, because being an inert gas, it ensure all the unburned gases are taken to outside. So upon completion of that, basically when you do that, it will avoid explosion of the transformer. The this kind of system basically used in the transformer protection purpose. Once it is done, you have to recirculate the oil. The moment you recirculate the oil, it is ready for reusage. So this is the greatest advantage of surge system. And firefighting system, we have seen water is being utilized for extinguish the fire, where the water is coming from, and it is coming from the fire pump room. So hence fire pumps are called as heart of firefighting system. In general, whatever we have seen in deluge or even the sprinkler part, what happens is there will be 3 pump: jockey pump, electric pump, which is running pump. The third one is standby pump, which is diesel pump. There are cases there will not be any electrical pump, there will be 2 diesel pump. There are cases, 2 electrical pumps will be there, there will not be any diesel pump. It is based on the condition, based on the standard or the building, the designer whom they want to finalize the activity. What all the things are there in the pump room, I just want to show you some video. basically the deluge system has, as we have seen, 3 pumps are there. Jockey pump, it will have cutting pressure and cutoff pressure. What it does is, it will try to maintain a pressure when it reaches 100 psi. For example, 100 psi, it stops. The moment it comes 100, less than 100, it will try to run the pump. The moment it develop the pressure, it stops. For some reason, if the sprinklers are broken because of the actual fire, it will try to maintain the pressure. If it doesn't happen, the electric pump will come into picture, which is x minus 5, 95 psi. Then the electric pump will run. It allows the water to spray on the actual hazardous area where the fire is happening. Suppose if there is a problem in the electrical pump for whatever the reason may be, immediately the diesel pump will come into picture. There will be further reduction of the pressure, which is standby pump of your diesel. When it is reaches say 85, it runs automatically and allow the water to go and pour on the respective area. So where the water is being supplied is through fire water tank. It's a cross-sectional tank is being used based on the NFPA, the standard where you can have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes. There are areas where concrete tank is also being provided for 60 minutes where the capacity is more. This quantity time, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, it is all depend on the size, the requirement, the equipment, everything put together, the design, and then finalize the tank size. We have seen active fire protection system. There are passive fire protection system also, fire resistant building material and fire door and compartmentation. Here you can see the rock wool construction material designed to resist the ignition, withstand the effect of fire, preventing and spread from the one building or one room to another room, one building to another building. This particular area, this particular item materials are being used in the wall, especially in the HVAC where the dampers are provided. Suppose you are in a substation, for example, control room to LVC room. If the fire happens, everything will shut down there. The fire will not be allowed move to go to the next room. The same way, here you can see the doors, fire rated doors are provided. That will not allow the fire to move from one place to another place where it will have a fire rating of 2 hours, basically. So fire doors specially designed, fire resistant property. Well, it will, it will make sure that fire is not moving to the next area, next room. Fire doors automatically closes in response to fire, helping to contain the fire within the specific area. Thank you very much. And once again, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to IOSH for giving this great opportunity. And I also would like to thank Mr. Venkat for giving me this good opportunity to present on firefighting system. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bala. Thanks for the time you spent with us. It's been a very sensitive topic. And in fact, I believed you went deeper, more than fire engineering. So we really appreciate. We cannot thank you enough. We have a lot of questions that have come in the chat box. I'm not sure if we have the time for all the questions, but we'll take it one step at a time. The first question, it's like this. In Qatar, what specification for classes of fire is followed in the oil and gas industry?
Sorry, come back again. I didn't get your question.
What's in Qatar? What specifications for classes of fire is followed in the oil and gas industry? We talk about A, B, C, D, E, and K. And in the construction industry, is slightly different from. So what the guy is asking, what specification do you follow in for class of fire in the oil and gas?
In case of oil and gas, oil will come under class B and gas will come under class C.
So it is A, B, C. I think it's slightly similar to what you presented earlier. So I think that's
yeah. Basically, simple answer is oil comes under class B and gas comes under class C.
Correct. Thank you. And the next question is, the sprinkler system works for only the area that the fire detected by the sensor? Is it yes or no?
Come back again, fire?
The sprinkler system Does it work for only the area that the sensor has detected the fire?
Yes, actually, there will not be a separate sensor. Fire sprinkler bulb is there. It will detect when the fire occurs. It will be sensed because there is a liquid given, as I told you, there is a liquid given in the bulb with respect to the temperature 57, 79, 93 based on the temperature. When it reaches, what happens is the temperature and pressure is proportional. When the temperature increases, the pressure also increases. The moment it reaches a particular temperature, it breaks. Then it gives a feedback to the pump, relevant pump, jockey pump, and then subsequently electrical or diesel will come into picture to spray the water on the fire rated area.
Okay, perfect.
And it will pour the water on that particular area, not on all the area in case of sprinkler.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bala. The
Thank
next
you, sir.
question, the next question, I have one of our colleagues joining from the UK. He is asking, what is nitrogen deluge system and where is it used?
Come again, what is?
Nitrogen deluge system, nitrogen deluge system, and where is it used? Nitrogen deluge system.
I'm not really aware at this point of time. Okay, probably I can once the meeting is through, I'll update Mr. Venkat so that it can be shared with other people.
Sure. Thank you. The next question is, let me try to rush through most of the questions because we don't have so much time. The next question is, it goes like this. Please explain what the pre-action system is in sprinkler, okay, which requires a two-step of activation before water is released. Explain what, sorry, I think this is a little bit confusing. I'll jump through it.
Yeah.
Then another question is there a possibility that the system will activate even without manual or fire or heat detected?
See, it's a very good question. In case of FM200 system, a suppression system, it basically comes into two category. One is the false, the other one is actual fire. Now, when it is meeting these two requirement, it will come into the activation will take place. The agent will be released. But not only these two, but also if there is a dust accumulation, because the sensor has a particular numbers, it will be provided with 0 to 10, the rating. When the dust occurs, the dust gets deposited, that will not know, like by the equipment, it will think that there is a fire, then immediately give the feedback, the gas will be discharged on the particular area. So that is why we have to maintain at a regular intervals on all this equipment. There is a checklist given. You have to maintain at a regular interval, something for weekly, something for monthly, something for quarterly, half-yearly, yearly. You have to go and maintain it properly to avoid this kind of confusion. Of course, definitely it can happen when the dust is getting accumulated on the area.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bala. And the question is it mandatory to get Qatar Civil Defense approval for temporary porter cabins, offices?
Absolutely. You have to get an approval for even porter cabin or temporary building. You have to get an approval because you will be using the fire extinguisher and other relevant agencies, other relevant firefighting system. QCD, as per the QCD guideline, you must get an approval. Without that, you will not be able to do any further activities. With the approval is mandatory.
Thank you. Another question is, suppose if a person is inside the room when the FM200 is released, is the gas harmful to that person?
Yeah, I just shared in the presentation also. This has 9% of oxygen content. For example, I'm sitting in this room. If the fire occurs, the gas is getting discharged. I will not start for oxygen. I will have the time to move out of the room without any assets. So, which means you can go out of the room till such time nothing will happen, since there is an oxygen content. But you are not supposed to inhale the particular agent continuously. You understand? So nothing will happen. At the same time, you are not supposed to inhale continuously. You have to just evacuate yourself from that particular area where the fire is happening.
Okay. And then the same person continue with the question. He said, is there an alternative available to avoid contact with this gas?
Yeah. Latest gas development. Initially, all started with CO2, and then FM200 Nova gas, which is more environment friendly. So there is alternative gas. Only thing is, again, it is based on the designer and where you want to use this particular gas and what is the condition, what kind of equipment has to be protected, and what is the money, how much is the money you can spend to, buy that particular equipment,
And
right?
install it.
CO2 is
Correct.
cheaper and Novak will be costlier.
Absolutely. The next, I'll just take the next three questions, and I think that will be all for the day. What are the inspection requirements for portable fire extinguishers as per the local Qatar? This is Qatar Civil Defense requirement when compared to the NFPA requirements.
See, if you see, if you have to do it annually and monthly also. For fire alarm and all, you have to do it on monthly. Fire extinguisher, you require to do it annually. So anything is there, there is a guidelines given by the QCDD, you have to follow the guidelines. You understand? No. See, for example, life safety related means you have to go for NFPA 101, where everything is given. If it is a sprinkler, if it is, you understand, NFPA 13, every details has been given along with how to maintain. I will quote a small example. How often you have to run the pump? You have to check the pump. Every week, 5 minutes means 5 minutes. That is a standard says. That is also been incorporated in the QCDD, in the QCS. You have to follow that particular thing on regular basis.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Bala. The next question is, what is the frequency of the visual inspection and testing of the sprinkler system?
See, sprinkler system, if you see, as per the standard, sprinkler system, you have to do it visual inspection quarterly. Supervisory signal device, you have to do it quarterly. Water flow device, you have to do it quarterly. Zone control valve, semi-annually. And if you want to do the actual testing, sprinkler, you have to do it annually. And supervisory signal, you have to do it quarterly. Water flow, you have to do it semi-annually. What I'm saying, the question is highly respected, but for all the answers, you have to follow the standards. Every things are given in the standard. My intention of communicating is that I may not be remember when we have to do it. Even in cases when when I want to refer, I will go and refer the respective standard, NFA standard. So which will give you the clear picture on what is to be done and when, how frequent we have to do it, what is the frequency level, everything will be given.
Perfect. And the last question is, what's the frequency of inspection for fire doors by the third party? And what's the frequency of inspection or check for fire pumps?
Fire pumps.
Fire pumps and fire doors, fire rated doors.
Fire pumps, I can say every week, if you see the standard NFPA, it says the pump has to be checked once in a week for 5 minutes. Again, answer to the question, apart from that, the additional things also need to be checked, where the checklist is given. I cannot go one by one. For each and every wall, what is that? You have to kindly refer the
local requirements. Correct.
Yes, the requirements you have to check it out. The same case is for your doors also. Door, then generally they say annually we have to do it, but again it is 2-hour fire rated. In whatever the specification where you are going to install, that says it's minimum 2 hours requirement. In between some damages happen. For example, when you are taking some equipment or something like that, when the damages happen, obviously you have to replace it. However, again I'm putting with humble note, you have to refer the specification and guidelines to ensure whether am I doing the right thing. That you have to be ensure.
Absolutely. Thank you, Engineer Bala, for this very informative section. And I'm sure that the audience, which is our IOSH branch members, have been able to gain a lot from it. There are still a few questions, but we'll continue with this much later. I will take this out of this forum. And if any of them have more questions, more concerns, clarification, drop it in the chat box or send it to us. We would be happy to take it. Back to you, Mr. Venkat.
Thank you, Mr. Valentin, and thank you very much to Mr. Bala for that wonderful presentation. I'm sure all of the members enjoyed the presentation at the same time that you learned a lot of things. Those many of the things are very basic thing as a safety professional we must have learned somewhere, but still the kind of information Mr. Bala has provided is, it's really revoking our thought process, and we need to go back and check how no, we are practicing at our work sites. Thank you very much, Mr. Bala, for that wonderful presentation. I truly appreciate your time and efforts. And thank you very much to all the members for being here and making this meeting successful. There were around 148 members were attending at the peak time. Thank you very much to everyone. Thanks to Valentine for your time and effectively handling the Q&A sessions. And thanks to Catherine for all the support, and Emily. May I request all the members to switch on your camera so that we can take a group picture. And if you have it's all like a continuous learning process, and you can use this meeting as part of your CPD. And if you have any further questions, you can just write to us. And I think Catherine, you may have to enable members to switch on their camera.
Apologies, should be there now.
Thank you very much. I could see a lot of known and members, known friends. Thank you very much for joining. I truly appreciate your time. Keep smiling. I'm taking picture. Thank you all. Thank you all for your wonderful contribution and support. We will catch up in the next meeting. See you all. Thank you, Bala.
Thank you very much. Thank you for patient listening, and I really appreciate Ayush and Venkat, Valentine and Catherine for their support. And any questions you can get in touch with Mr. Venkat so that I will be in a position to explain. Once again, my sincere thanks to all the participants and for the great opportunity